Breaking now at 11.
4 succumbed to their injuries, so 4 fatalities that died at the scene. We have 3 that were med flighted or transported by helicopter to MCV Hospital.
A truck pulling a trailer rear-ends a church bus on Route 460 near Dinwiddie. And tonight, growing fear the death toll could go even higher. We're live at the scene.
And we're live at VCU Medical Center, where 3 passengers on that church bus were med-flighted with life-threatening injuries.
Plus, we're getting details on tonight's church revival in Dinwiddie, where that bus was headed, and new information about some of the passengers on the van.
On your side, NBC 12 News at 11 starts with local breaking news.
And that local breaking news out of Dinwiddie tonight, where 4 are dead and several in the hospital right now after a truck crashed into a church van on 460.
Crews have been on the scene for several hours now, and we have live team coverage for you. Kelly Evelino has an update on survivors flown to the hospital. Eric Perry has reaction from the church involved in that crash. But we begin tonight with Brent Solomon. He's standing by live now at the crash scene with new insight into how terrible this crash really was. Brent, fill us in.
Kurt, we're now reaching the 4-hour mark of this tragedy. 4 people have died, and now the investigation focused right here on Route 460 in Dinwiddie. It all happened just before 7 o'clock this evening. I can tell you that a church van was pulling into the parking lot when a truck carrying a load rear-ended that church van, causing the van to flip several times. 11 people were on board that van headed to a church service here. They had traveled from out of town. 11 people total on that van, 4 people dead, 3 people airlifted to VCU Medical with life-threatening injuries. I can tell you 4 other people had to be rushed to nearby hospitals. They all have serious injuries. As for the truck driver, he was injured as well, but I'm told the injuries are minor. On the scene right now, you can see folks who have come to see about loved ones, checking to see how they're doing right now, many of them getting word that unfortunately people have passed away here. I am told by state police that charges against the truck driver are pending at this hour, so we'll keep you posted on how that turns out. For now, we're live in Dinwiddie on your side. Brent Solomon, NBC 12.
Okay, Brent, thank you. And we're learning more tonight about the passengers involved in that church van.
Eric Perry is talking to some of the church members and the family they've lost tonight. He joins us now live from the scene with more. Eric.
Absolutely. People from Shiloh Baptist Church in Blackstone coming here to the scene to see what is exactly going on. Many people coming here with the sad news that their loved ones have passed away. Now, we are told that the church was visiting Mount Zion Baptist Church, which is behind me, when that church van was rear-ended here. We are told that it was a revival that was going on tonight, and many people were coming here to gather for it. Now, state police confirming that those 4 people were killed in this crash when that church van was rear-ended. Several other people were taken to the hospital. Several of them were actually flown to hospitals. As state police worked to identify the 4 people killed, we actually spoke with Michael Somerville. He is the husband of one of the victims. He tells me that his wife is 37 years old, named Wartina Somerville. She was killed while she was on that church van. I'm told she was a teacher at Crew Primary School. And the heartbreaking news, they had just had a baby, 9 months old. Michael tells me he was actually supposed to drive that van tonight, but his wife insisted he stay home with the baby because she wanted to be at the service tonight. Take a listen.
She said she wanted to sing in the choir, so she decided to go. So she hugged the baby and kissed the baby, and hugged and kissed me and told us she loved us. And we walked her to the front porch, and she let the window down on the passenger side of her truck and waved and smiled like she always does.
Sweetest woman that you could ever meet. Church-going woman, God-fearing woman. She's the best, one of the best, I guess, you could say mothers, for first-time mother.
Now, that second person you heard from was the actual brother-in-law, the brother of Michael Somerville, who lost his wife I mean, it's just amazing how his strength being on out here. He says his faith is what is getting him through. We're working to learn more information on the other 3 victims as of now. We do know we are hearing that one of them, it might be in their 80s, and some of these people are pillars in their community. A little bit about Shiloh Baptist Church. We do know it is a historic black church in the Blackstone area, very significant. People I talked with here on scene say it is a very tight-knit community. We'll stay out here and follow this, talking to relatives and hopefully survivors of this crash. We'll continue to follow this and bring you updates as soon as we know any information. On your side in Dinwiddie, I'm Eric Perry, NBC 12 News.
Very sad. Thanks so much, Eric. We want to get an update on those badly injured in that crash. Emergency crews rushed many victims to the hospital tonight.
Kelly Avellino is standing by live at VCU Medical Center. She has an update on the conditions of several that were flown there. Kelly, what are you learning?
Well, Kurt and Carla, I can confirm that 3 people who were inside that van were med-flighted here to VCU Medical Center very shortly after the crash. They all had life-threatening injuries. I am still waiting to hear back from VCU Medical Center on their conditions right now. I have several inquiries out. As soon as we learn more, we will certainly bring that information to you first. Another 4 victims were rushed to other nearby hospitals. They had serious injuries. They were taken by ambulance. I can also tell you that the driver of the truck suffered minor injuries and was also taken by an ambulance to a nearby hospital. Again, we have inquiries out. We are waiting to hear back on the conditions of all of these victims. I can tell you that VCU Medical Center, the reason why those victims were med-flighted here is because VCU has the #1 trauma center in our region. That is why, again, they were taken here as quickly as possible shortly after the crash. Again, 3 people med-flighted here. We are waiting to hear back, and we'll certainly keep you updated. On your side in Richmond, I'm Kelly Avellino for NBC 12.
Thanks so much, Kelly. And we'll be checking in with our reporters throughout the newscast as we continue to stay on top of this local breaking news. You can look for another live update from Brent Solomon coming up in just a few minutes. And we'll also be updating our NBC 12 News app. Make sure to download that app right now, just in case you don't have it, so you can have the new information right on your smartphone or tablet.
And turning now to a live look outside. Still pretty warm out there for this late hour. And the next couple of days, well, they will be even hotter. Meteorologist Jim Duncan joining us now with the latest on the current heat wave. Jim?
Yeah, current readings are still around 80 degrees on our JS WeatherNet sites. We had highs today, mostly lower 90s. As you mentioned, it's going to be even hotter tomorrow. Temperatures right now, we're looking at upper 70s to lower 80s. So it's definitely warm for this time of the year. This is really unusual heat. Thunderstorms tonight, mostly to the north, and these have been big ones. Some tornadic storms up here in the northeast. This whole area shifts a little bit more to the south tomorrow. Northern Virginia, maybe even our area, is seeing some thunderstorms, which I'll talk about more in just a few more minutes. But let's talk about the heat for tomorrow. We have first alert weather days today, and then we also have that for tomorrow and Thursday, because 2 of the hottest days of this hot spell will be tomorrow and Thursday, the hottest temperatures of the year so far. Just shy of record levels, but pretty darn close to record heat over the area. Don't forget to take your weather app with you for the heat updates anytime, day or night. You want to check out how those temperatures are trending. Also, we have video and blog updates show up on our weather app. Just go down to weather headlines and you can check that out. But again, the main takeaway for tomorrow and Thursday will be the heat and maybe some thunderstorms. Your first alert forecast on where we might see some storms tomorrow is coming up in about 5 or 10 minutes. Kurt.
All right, Jim, thank you. The investigation continues tonight into that double shooting on Richmond's south side that injured an 11-year-old boy and killed 9-year-old Markia Dixon. They got caught in the crossfire at a community cookout in Carter Jones Park Sunday. Markia was a 3rd grader at Crestwood Elementary in Chesterfield. Anyone with information is asked to call police. And tonight we're hearing from the father of that little boy who was shot in the shooting.
Raekwon Moses says he's grateful his son is out of the hospital after he was shot twice, once in the arm and once in the chest. Now a father's plea for anyone with information to come forward and to help get that shooter off the streets. Eric Perry sat down with the father and the 11-year-old survivor earlier this evening.
No kid deserves this. No kid at all. No kid deserves this.
As Raekwon Moses looks over the gunshot wounds his 11-year-old son, Jaquez, has, he holds back tears of what could have happened.
I'm just glad that he's not gone. I'm glad he's still here with me.
Sixth grader Jaquez Moses was at Carter Jones Park Sunday at a community cookout when gunfire erupted. 9-year-old Marquia Dixon was killed in the crossfire. Jaquez seriously injured.
I was playing tag and it started banging noises. I thought it was firecrackers, so I didn't pay attention to it. That's when I noticed that I was start bleeding. That's when I ran to my grandma and my mom.
Police asking the community for help to find whoever is responsible.
I got a call from work. Luckily, I work right downtown, right close to MCV. And when I got the call, I just dropped everything and ran to MCV. And that's where I seen my little man just pouring blood with shot up.
Raekwon now calling his little man a walking miracle.
I thank God, because the doctor said if it was only 2 more inches to the left, he wouldn't be here neither.
The future football player was shot twice, once in the arm, the other in the chest.
I wouldn't have expected this in a million years. I never thought about anything like this happening to my son, but it can happen to anybody.
As the search for answers continues, Raekwon is holding his pride and joy just a little closer.
And if you're watching this, I ask you to go hug him right now and let them know that you always gonna be there for them. But I'm telling you, if it's in my power and I'm around, it'll never happen again. I'm sorry it did, okay? And I'm sorry I wasn't there when it happened. I love you.
Hundreds of people attended Sunday's community event. Police hope at least one person will come forward to get the shooter off the street.
Say something if you know something. That's all I ask for.
Eric Perry, NBC 12 News.
Thanks so much, Eric. Raekwon says he's working to get his son counseling. He's still, of course, understandably shaken up from the incident. No word on when he will return to school. Right now, he says it's just too much.
A Chesterfield father facing charges tonight for leaving his 3 young children alone inside a hot minivan. Aaron Hamilton is charged with child endangerment. Police say they found the kids ages 3, 4, and just 20 days old in that van, which was parked on Medical Park Boulevard in Petersburg. That was just before 11:30 this morning. All 3 children were taken to the hospital. Only the 20-day-old was admitted for observation.
We are staying on top of local breaking news tonight out of Dinwiddie, where 4 people are dead and several in the hospital right now after a truck crashed into a church van. All lanes of 460 are shut down near Zion Road and is expected to be closed for several more hours. Stay with us. We'll have another live report from the scene right after this break.
This is local breaking news from NBC 12.
We continue to stay on top of local breaking news. 4 people killed in an accident between a church van and a truck hauling a trailer in Dinwiddie County.
Brent Solomon has been on the scene there all night long. He joins us live again. Brent, anything new you can tell us?
Yeah, this is a tragedy indeed. Right now, the driver of the truck who rear-ended that church van is in the hospital himself. Police tell me charges are pending. The tragic news here is that every single person involved in this crash has either passed away or is in the hospital right now. We're on 460 and this is an active scene as state police work to reconstruct the scene and get to the bottom of how this happened in the first place. All westbound travel lanes here on 460 near Zion Road are shut down as a result, and state police say it could be this way for several more hours. There are people, if you're on my live picture right now, you can see that there are folks that are walking on the scene. That's because many of them have loved ones who were involved in this crash, many of them arriving to get the news that some of those church members passed away in that van. I can tell you that the van had just arrived to the church. They were coming here for a revival. The van had pulled into the parking lot of the church. After leaving Blackstone, they arrived here in Dinwiddie, and as soon as they pulled into the church, that's when the truck rear-ended the church van. Of course, a tragedy indeed, with 4 fatalities at this hour. 3 people had to be airlifted to VCU Medical Center, and then an additional 4 other people had to be rushed to nearby hospitals. Those who had to be rushed to the hospital are suffering from serious injuries. Those who had to be airlifted to VCU Medical have life-threatening injuries. So the uncertainty at this point is whether that death toll of 4 people will climb. Many of the folks I spoke with out here tonight say they have strong faith. In fact, this accident happened because many of the passengers were heading to church, so their faith is strong. And even the husband of one of the victims who passed away had incredible strength. My colleague Eric Perry and I were just speaking about the resolve and the resilience that man has after just learning his wife, a teacher at Crew Primary School, died in this unfortunate situation. So of course we're all over this. We'll continue to provide you updates as we learn them, both on air and online, and we'll remain here on the scene a little while longer to continue to gather the very latest for you. But for now, that is the latest from Dinwiddie County, where we're on your side tonight. Brent Solomon, NBC 12.
Okay, Brett, thank you. Our condolences to all involved. We have a crime alert out of Chesterfield tonight where police need your help to find these 2 who were caught on video breaking into unlocked cars. Police say the suspects entered these cars on May 16th in the Brooks Chapel area. If you have any information about the crime, please call Crime Solvers. That number 748-0660.
A section of Virginia Beach is getting a lot of attention. You may have seen the pictures on social media. Tons of trash left behind in Chicks Beach after hundreds of beachgoers gathered for Flotopia on Sunday. The city says crews hauled away 10 tons of trash. That's about half the weight of a bus. It took a crew of 9 just under 3 hours to get everything cleaned up.
All righty, temperature right now in Richmond is 79 degrees, but there's a heat index that feels more like 81, so it's really humid outside. And throughout the area, that's been the story of the day. The heat has returned. The storms tonight have been focused mainly in the northeast, across Pennsylvania, out of Ohio, into New Jersey. New York City even had a tornado warning just south of New York this evening around Staten Island. So bottom line is that's a pretty energetic weather pattern up to our north, and it's going to shift a little bit more to the south tomorrow. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center has pushed the severe risk a little more south than it was today. Today it was up here. Tomorrow that enhanced risk area kind of touches northern Virginia. We have Fredericksburg points north under a slight risk, and then you get up through Caroline County, Louisiana points northward under a marginal severe storms risk. So not only the heat tomorrow, but also the chance for some strong storms, maybe severe, especially in northern Virginia. Something we'll have to watch. Of course, check in with Andrew tomorrow morning, starting at 4:30 on NBC 12 News in the morning. Be because he'll have the latest on those updates from the Storm Prediction Center to see if they modify where that risk is. Look at how high it was today with the temperatures, though. Charleston, South Carolina, 101 today. Just awful heat down there. 95 in Charlotte, 94 in Atlanta. These are the kind of readings we'll have around here tomorrow. So it'll be hotter for us tomorrow than it was today. The core of the hot air just focused just to our south and southeast. And tomorrow morning we start out in the lower 70s for your morning commute. Sun comes up at 5:51. No weather impacts. It's going to be mild early tomorrow morning, but very quickly we heat up, and our comfort index tomorrow only a 3. It could be lower if the humidity was going to be higher, but I think the humidity is going to just stay on the kind of the middling range, and highs will be in the middle 90s. So again, be prepared for the heat tomorrow. Take precautions as necessary if you're out and about in the heat. 96 will be our high. Now we have a 20% chance of a storm toward early evening. We'll have to watch that. And again, let's check out the latest model guidance on this. Tonight, quiet. Sunshine tomorrow through early afternoon, quiet weather. We get into late afternoon, that's when some storms could start to develop from the west. This new model run, not showing much. The run just before this was showing a line coming through. So just be aware, this is just a computer model, and I think there will be some storms around. First alert weather day tomorrow, of course. Strong to severe storms will be possible tomorrow. Better chance northern Virginia. And for us, the big weather news the next 2 days will be the heat. We gave you the first alert on this a few days ago that these would be the kind of focus days, 96 each day. The records are 98, so I don't think we're quite at record levels. Nice cool down this weekend, though. Saturday and Sunday in the 80s, and a better chance of scattered storms as we get into the weekend as well. And of course, we have the Greek Festival coming up Thursday right through Sunday. Weather for that is going to be very summery Thursday, a little bit cooler with increasing storm chances into the weekend. But all in all, not too bad. A lot more news coming up.